It's almost official now. The next GOAT after the game witnessed Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi? A 17-year-old kid from Rocafonda. Not Kylian Mbappé, not Erling Haaland, but right now, Lamine Yamal is the hottest prospect in football.
Pressure is just not normal. We talked about the 100 games that he already has at that age. It's just stupid, really. Like I don't even know what I'm watching, what I'm witnessing, but he played like a man possessed. And when I say a man, he's not even a man yet, technically.
From shutting up pundits to having opposition managers create custom tactics just to stop him, taking on opponents twice his age and destroying them, Lamine Yamal is on a mission to take over football and at the same time destroy the legacy of two of the greatest the game has ever seen.
Bueno, no me comparo con él porque no me comparo con nadie, mucho menos con Messi.
17-year-old Lamine Yamal. This 17-year-old is currently on top of the world. He's faced different top teams this season and every single time he left a mark. Spanish kings, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, German giant Bayern Munich, Italian superpower Inter Milan. Yamal dunked on each of them this season alone. At 17, Messi could only dream of playing these kinds of games. Cristiano Ronaldo? He was still trying to figure things out at Sporting. Even Neymar was still at Santos. And then there's Yamal, already playing for one of the biggest teams in history and already dominating on the biggest stage. This simply is unreal. Yamal isn't just the best young star in world football right now, but one of the best players in the world. Yes, there's Jude Bellingham and Cole Palmer bossing the midfield. Haaland over at England consistently scoring bangers, and Kylian Mbappé already owning the whole show. Then there's a 17-year-old casually showing us that he might be better than all of them.
How good is this guy at 17 years old?
Mad, isn't it?
And this isn't just about hype or us talking about a player with potential, but this is real. We're already seeing it. A 17-year-old boy who is already carrying one of the biggest teams in football. Just when it looked like Barcelona was in huge trouble and would fall down the ranks, a kid that isn't old enough to go clubbing steps up to save the team. And right now, he's not just saving his team, but his country also.
Yamal, lovely little check and looking for the top corner! Lamine Yamal has lit up these European Championships!
So how did this guy go from being a Team B talent to being one of the best players in the world in less than 2 years? This is how a 17-year-old is outperforming the world football elites. But let's backtrack a bit, back to when and where it all started. 13th of July 2007, in Esplugues de Llobregat, the magician was born to an Equatorial Guinean mother and a Moroccan father. Bro legit came into this world differently. 3 nationalities right from birth, but it gets crazier. A couple of months after he was born, he was blessed by the GOAT himself, Lionel Messi. You see, Barcelona had this thing with UNICEF where 12 players took pictures with 12 infants. They had a charity calendar, so pictures of a player and a baby for each month of the year. When it was Messi's turn, 5-month-old Yamal was selected. To every other person, this was just a random event and pictures, but to Yamal and Messi, a transaction. Yamal grew up with football as his main hobby, and he quickly got crazy good at it. But I mean, he got bathed by Messi himself. The football DNA got stitched into him. At the age of 6, he was already good enough to catch the eyes of Barcelona's scouts. At that age, some kids barely knew how to run, but Yamal, he was already impressing the scouts of one of the biggest teams in the world. Barca was so convinced that even after bringing him on, they let him live in the academy. Years went by and one thing remained the same: Yamal's supremacy. He was just better than everyone around him. And this is the famous La Masia Academy. It's probably the best academy in Spain. It is legit filled with the most talented kids in the country. And then there's Yamal, who still managed to outshine everyone. Moving into the 2022-23 season, he got added to the Juvenile A team, a team filled with older and bigger boys. Yamal was already too good for his age category. The coaches had to move him up the ranks, and when they thought that was it, everything would get balanced out, Yamal once again outshined everyone. September 2022, the coach of the main team, Xavi, had to invite the kid. He wanted to see for himself who exactly was that kid that no one could stop, not even the older boys. Without even signing a pro contract with the team, he already got the opportunity to train with the main team. And in a matter of months, he was doing more than just training with the main team, but actually playing games with them. April 2023, Xavi made an 83rd minute substitution that shocked the world. It was a league game. Barca was up against Real Betis, and in the 83rd minute, Xavi brought Yamal on for Pedri, making Yamal the youngest player to ever play for Barca's main team. He was 15 at the time. But it wasn't just about his young age, but how he played. He looked cooler than seasoned professionals. Bro was smiling, dribbling, and playing with finesse. To Yamal, this was just another academy game, nothing serious. I don't know what was more shocking, the fact that a 15-year-old was playing for a team like Barca, or that the 15-year-old played with 100% composure. But fast forward to today, at 17, Yamal isn't getting subbed on, but constantly starting games. League games on the weekends, Champions League games on weekdays, even national team games. Yamal is always there to lead his team. And it isn't just about playing, but the numbers also. There isn't a 17-year-old with better stats. We've already talked about Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar. Messi at 17 barely played up to 10 games and scored just once. Ronaldo played 19 games, recorded 5 goals and 4 assists. And Neymar did a lot better with 33 games and 16 goal contributions. But none of these come close to Yamal's 100-plus games for Barca. You may say football has changed, and players now get more opportunities. So we're going to briefly talk about present-day stars and what their career looked like at 17. Haaland at 17 could only dream of playing on the big stage, as he was still at Molde. Vinicius was still in Brazil playing for Flamengo. Jude Bellingham was already playing for a top team, Borussia Dortmund, and already even playing for the English national team, but he was just getting introduced into UEFA Champions League football. Yamal at 17 has played more than one UCL season and overall produced way better numbers. Mbappé, though, was one heck of a player at 17. 28 goals and 16 assists in 46 games. Although Yamal hasn't scored this much, he has more assists to his name. And not just that, Mbappé at 17 was a wonder kid at Monaco. Yamal is an elite player at Barcelona. Big difference. But of course, you know Yamal isn't just about stats. It's also about flexing on the opponents. This guy is currently the scariest dribbler in the world right now. His dribbling success rate is out of this world. Against Bayern this season, he completed 6 dribbles. Now you have to give it to him. This is Bayern, a super team with elite players. And Yamal is just a 17-year-old boy. He shouldn't even play a game like this. But he didn't just play, he embarrassed Bayern defenders. But if 6 dribbles don't impress you enough, in his last Champions League game of the season, this was against Italian giants Inter Milan by the way, he completed 14 dribbles. We're not talking about dribbling past cones, but elite defenders. Last time I saw something like this was when I used a player with maxed out stats on FIFA. Yes, he is a really skilled player. The fancy skill moves, step overs, we've seen him pull off these countless times. But we also see him consistently beat defenders with the most basic and effortless moves. And you know who this reminds me of? Messi. Not just Messi though, Neymar also. That flare down the wing, it's all Neymar. As a matter of fact, Yamal admitted to idolizing and watching Neymar while growing up. And you can see the result now. A player that doesn't just beat players with basic moves, but also pulls out the big guns when he wants to. And the great thing about this guy's dribbling isn't just its predictability, but the maturity. He never forces dribbles. He knows when to drive at defenders. He knows when to keep things simple. He reads the game like he's been playing top-level football for a decade. It isn't just dribbling. His passes are also top-notch. He's recorded the most La Liga assists this season. And let's not talk about his Trivela passes. Modric and Quaresma have nothing on this guy. When it comes to creating goal-scoring chances, he's probably Barca's #1 player because he not only possesses god-tier dribbling ability to create, but also midfielder-level passing accuracy to split defenses. His passes not only find teammates, but also unlock defenses. This guy's vision needs to be studied. He always thoroughly scans the whole pitch, making sure he's never confused or overwhelmed. While other players try to stay a step ahead, Yamal is 3 steps ahead, reading the whole game like a chess master. And to top it all off, he knows how to step up to score goals of his own. That right-footed shot against Real Madrid will always be golden. Just look at that. The composure, the accuracy, and of course the caliber of opponent he scored that against. Yamal is simply on another level, and that's just one out of many. This guy has scored countless bangers this season, crazy curlers into the top corners, things only the best of the best can do. They aren't just beautiful to watch, but also really important goals. This guy scores clutch goals, stepping up to score when the team really needs a saviour, reminding Barca fans what Messi was like during his time at Barca. Those moments when all hope seems lost, boom! A left-footed magician comes up with something, just that this time it isn't Messi. It's 17-year-old Yamal. Back to back to back, Yamal is always here to produce moments of magic. As I said earlier, no pressure, 100% composure. He knows what to do and he knows when to do it. He isn't like other young stars who are always making wrong decisions on the pitch. And you can't blame them. They're new to the big leagues. Of course they'd make the wrong decision. But Yamal is showing us that he's way above that. He plays with a level of maturity that simply isn't real. For Barca fans, this is a blessing, a Messi regen, the future of the team, but for the opponent, this guy is an absolute nightmare and a reason to spend extra hours at the drawing board. And the crazy thing is, no matter how well you prepare for him, you almost can't stop him. He's just that guy. Just recently, Barca clashed with Espanyol. Barca needed to win this game to confirm their league trophy. Espanyol, on the other hand, were more focused on causing an upset. Stopping Barca from winning the league and giving runners-up Real Madrid a chance at the trophy, the first 45 minutes of the game remained goalless. It looked like Espanyol defenders had figured it out. A way to keep Yamal silent. Then comes the second half. Yamal scored what many call his best of the season. Take a look at this beauty. Barca fans didn't just celebrate the beauty of that goal, but their 28th La Liga trophy, as that goal cemented their place as the champions of Spain. The game before this was the decider, a game against Barca's fiercest rivals, Real Madrid. Los Blancos had already lost to Barca 3 times this season, with 2 of them being finals. This was finally their chance to get back at Barca, and the Catalan side recently crashed out of the UEFA Champions League. Facing a team like Real Madrid next in a league decider looked like a setup. Less than 15 minutes into the game, Real Madrid was already up 2 goals. It looked like Real Madrid would complete the story, but 17-year-old Yamal wasn't going to let that happen, as he scored one of the most beautiful and precise curlers of the season to level the game. If you follow Spanish football, you'd know as far as El Clasico this season is concerned, that's just one of many. Yamal met Real Madrid a total of 4 times this season, and he scored thrice with 2 extra assists to show his dominance. And just like he either scored or provided an assist anytime he met with Real Madrid this season, he made sure to also leave his mark on Barca's second biggest rivals, Atletico Madrid. This was in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final where he recorded an assist. Next was in the league where he scored a goal. And lastly was the second leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final where he once again delivered an assist. A 17-year-old scoring goals and providing assists like that? Last time we saw a 17-year-old this crucial to his team was the great Pelé, not even Ronaldo or Messi. And just so you know, Yamal isn't just lethal for Barcelona, but also a key player for his countryside. Yamal is already Spain's most important attacker. 50 days after turning 16, Yamal got his first national team call-up, and as if his getting called up at such a young age isn't impressive enough, he went on to score on his debut. And just like that, he became the youngest player to ever debut for Spain and the youngest goal scorer in Spain's history. And one more, the youngest scorer in Euros qualifiers. One night, 3 records smashed. Yamal is just that guy, and it doesn't come as a surprise when later that year he got called up once again for the rest of the qualifiers. Now this is the thing, playing for your national team at that age may not be much of a big deal anymore. I mean, we have young stars making waves across Europe. But Yamal's case is different because he wasn't brought into the team to learn under veterans, or just to kill the squad. He was brought on to carry. Now you know the boy is crazy good when at such a young age, you're coming on to carry your national team. June 2024, Spain released their 26-man list for the Euros, and of course, Yamal was on that list. And just being on that list broke another record as the youngest player to get called up for the Euros. But that was just the start of his Euros record-breaking spree. Against Croatia in the group stage, he provided an assist to make him the youngest Spanish player to provide an assist in the Euros, and also the youngest in the history of the tournament. Spain went through to the round of 16, and with Yamal very much active in the squad, he became the youngest player to feature in the Euros knockout stage. And, as if this record wasn't enough, he went on to smash two massive ones in the semi-final against France. He scored his first goal of the tournament, making him the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Euros. And not just that goal was voted the best goal of the tournament. Bro legit showed us that it's not about quantity, but quality. You already know the rest. Spain went on to win the tournament. Yamal at 17 was already a Euros medalist and was also voted best young player of the tournament. Messi at 17 wasn't even thinking about winning a tournament with Argentina. At that age, he was praying for more minutes in Barcelona. He hadn't even learned how to score goals yet. And there's Yamal, who's almost won it all. As far as domestic accolades are concerned, he has won it all. The League, Copa del Rey, Supercopa, he's won it all. Winning all of it in a single season. Messi at 17 couldn't boast all of this. But does this make Yamal better than Messi? We're not going to pretend like we don't know about the comparison. But this is it. Yes, Messi to a lot of people is the greatest player in the history of the game. This guy is literally a god. Putting Yamal in the same sentence as him is wild. But you have to understand the whole comparison isn't just about how they play or the results, but their similarities. They're both La Masia graduates. They're both left-footed players that enjoy coming in from the right. They're both excellent dribblers. They both play with the ball specially glued to their feet. And lastly, they both broke into Barca's main team at a very young age and shined. So you see, the comparison doesn't come from how good these guys are, but from a place of nostalgia. Yamal and his growth as a baller reminds Barca fans of how Messi's career began. That's more or less set the flames for the comparison, but what is keeping it burning is Yamal's unbelievable numbers at 17. Yamal may or may not be as good as Messi, but a fact you can't argue with is numbers. They don't lie. Yamal has played over 100 games for Barca's main team. Messi at 17 couldn't get his coach to trust him as he only managed 9 games and 1 goal. This season alone, Yamal has scored more than 15 goals and provided more than 20 assists. Once again, I saw this. Numbers don't lie. Yamal at 17 is a better player than Messi was at 17. But that doesn't matter now, does it? We know how it goes. It's not about how you start, but how consistent you are. So far, Yamal's career seems consistent. Since he broke into Barca's main team, he's been getting better each season. This consistency is something we don't often see with young stars. Yamal is simply different. If he continues like this, maybe he'd be as great as Messi, maybe. But Messi is a player that once scored over 90 goals in a single calendar year. It's going to take more than consistency to match this. You'd need to be simply better than everyone, and by a margin. But then we look around and we realize if there's any youngster that can surpass Messi, or reach his level at least, Yamal seems like the only candidate for this. He's already on the right track, but can he follow through? Let me know what you think in the comments. How far can Yamal go? A World Cup trophy? A Ballon d'Or? Outshine Messi? And who knows, outscore Cristiano Ronaldo? Head to the comments and share your thoughts. And while you're at it, don't forget to drop a like on the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Matchday Moments so you don't miss out on our coming videos.